Kawasaki Brezza, the Citybird SUV.
The Riyan Parag redemption arc gathers further steam. The Sanju Samson World Cup bid gathers further steam. And Rajasthan Royals, well, no let up on their steam. They finished with 196 for 3 after having been asked to bat first by Gujarat Titans in Jaipur. On Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. We're in the company of Tom Moody and Mitch McClenaghan to look back at quite an entertaining first innings where a lot of predictions came close. But for Rajasthan to get there, they lost Jaiswal and Butler quite early on. Rashid Khan was all over them. That partnership, how significant was that, Tom?
The Samson and Parag one? Yeah, very significant. Again, two players that have been in form for Rajasthan and they've been consistent this year. And particularly when you lose the scalp of Butler, who's just coming off 100, and the back-to-back wickets like they did lose, to be able to reset and accelerate like they did. And they worked well as a partnership because it was, to begin with, it was Parag that was actually out of the blocks quickly and it was prepared to take a few risks and took on Noor Ahmed to that leg side boundary a few times and went for a few maximums that side, while Sanju Samson was not starved of the strike but didn't have as much of the strike, and his strike rate was just on the lower side, but then we saw that take off at the back end of the innings. So they dovetailed very, very cleverly.
Yeah, quite a significant acceleration towards the end as well, wasn't it? It was, they get 57 off the last 5?
4 overs.
4 overs,
yeah.
4 overs, 57 off the last 4 overs. And when you're in a position where you had to start slow because you lost a couple of early wickets, to rebuild and then explode in that last 4 overs was significant. I mean, they could have easily been in the same position RCB were the other night, but they really kicked on and took it down and got through to what I think is probably a very good score on that wicket, 196.
Interesting, Mitch points out that comparison because you look back at that game, 183 for 3. Rajasthan do have the same argument that they don't bat very deep. If you lose a few wickets, there's Hetmeyer, Jurel, and then you get into Ashwin. So that makes it much more commendable, the way Samson and Parag went through that middle phase.
Yeah, and you're talking about a team that hasn't lost a game this year, so they're playing with a lot of confidence. And you shouldn't be looking about what you don't have. You should be looking at what you have. Sometimes, if you are looking too far ahead and and around things that are out of your control, you trip up with the obvious things in front of you. So, Rajasthan are a team that are playing with a lot of confidence. They've got some players clearly in some good form, and they're not worried about what may or may not happen as things unfold. They're just playing the ball in front of them.
Yeah, Riyan Parag continues his march this IPL. 350s for him in 5 innings. That's more than he'd managed through the rest of his IPL career spanning 5 or 6 seasons. It came with its measure of luck. Rashid Khan could have had him twice, dropped both times, but beyond that period where he was troubled by Rashid, looked untroubled.
Yeah, he did. I thought when they quickly kind of assessed that they were going to be measured against Rashid Khan, obviously a few chances got dropped. Then they really had to set their focus on taking on Noor Ahmed, and Riyan Parag was outstanding. Whether he was picking him or not, anytime he saw the ball pitched outside leg stump, he went after it with the full blade of the bat between mid-on and mid-wicket, and it was really good to see. We've only seen Klaasen take to Noor Ahmed like that this year, and it was high-quality hitting at a time where they really needed to start up in that strike rate. So, as Tom alluded to, that partnership was brilliant between Samson and Riyan Parag. But when you're playing against a team like Rajasthan, like you say, who probably have lesser resources after Hetmeyer, you need to get Hetmeyer in early, and you can't be affording to drop those catches. And it just seems to be a consistent thing that we're seeing throughout this IPL. Bowlers are creating chances, and they're just being let down by the fielders.
Yeah, and drops that were costly not just to the Titans, but also to Mitch McClenaghan here, because you had gone the outrageous that Rashid will get 2 out of Butler, Parag and Hetmeyer.
Yeah, frustrating. Need a few of those points back. But it's one of those skill sets which I don't know why this year in particular we're seeing almost close to 3 drop catches a game, where last year I think it was around 1.7 drop catches per game, which is still very high. It's still a very high number at this level, but we're up to 3 drop catches a game is a phenomenal stat, and it's a real area that a lot of teams need to focus on.
going back to that takedown of Noor Ahmed, that was key for Rajasthan, because if you go back to Gujarat's last game, when Rashid and Noor apply the brakes together, I think against Lucknow, their 8 overs went for 50. But today you see Noor, usually so economical, go for 43. And not just Noor, Mohit Sharma as well, 51. We haven't seen that too often for Gujarat.
No, we haven't. Noor just got his line wrong tonight. He just got, very much leg side, if not leg stump line. Where he's at his best is when he's bowling very much an off-stump line, spinning the ball away with his wrong to the right-hander, or spinning in towards from off to leg stump. But he pitched quite a lot of balls sort of in an arc, which is just outside leg stump, and it allows the batter to have a free hit. You don't need to understand which way it's turning when it's in that line. And I don't think there was a batter tonight, and I don't think there's many batters in the IPL that read Noor Ahmed. So it's a free hit. When you're bowling outside the line of the leg stump, it's a free hit for the batters. But if he's constantly attacking that off stump, either spinning it away from that position or in, it becomes a nightmare for any batter.
Just looking at the Gujarat bowling, would you have done anything differently, at least towards the start of Samson's innings?
Oh, I guess get him out. That's probably about it. Look, the first couple of shots that he played were high quality, weren't they? That punch through the offside, the timing was impeccable, and then to pick the one off leg stump. He just got off to such a great start. I think you probably don't want to give him those two deliveries, obviously. You want to be a little bit tight at off stump and challenge the outside edge and bring him forward. But, once he got away, they kind of struggled to pull him back. And I think from a Gujarat Titans point of view, I think there was some positives there. Obviously, the last over from Umesh Yadav kind of took the game away from them a bit. But Spencer Johnson, I thought in patches, was, again, very good tonight. His ability to hit the Yorker and have to make Samson look for funky shots to kind of get him off his game was a high positive. And, Mohit Sharma's not going to get hit like that every other night as well. So, all in all, I think it's probably just above par, but they've got the batting lineup to be able to take this on.
Perhaps a bit unfortunate for them that this happened on the day that they shifted away from the bowling balance that they've had. We wondered why Darshan Nalkande is bowling as few overs as he is, but at least you had a sixth bowler. But today they didn't have one, and it happens to be a day where Umesh, Noor and Mohit between them go for 141 and 12.
Yeah, it was sort of unexpected, wasn't it? But still, they had Tuatia out there, and to be honest with you,
Shankar.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that if you are looking to squeeze that over out to take pressure off a bowler, you don't look at either Tuatia or Vijay Shankar as an option. Vijay Shankar with a few medium paces with the keeper up, stump to stump. That's the simple instruction with a straight field. It's not a bad option to go to. Just back on the Samson thing, the one thing I thought that I felt as an attacking option they could have employed early on in his innings is getting a good short ball in, early in his innings. He can be at times a little bit vulnerable early on with a good short ball. Umesh Yadav or Spencer Johnson sort of going upstairs, and not chest height, because he'll hit that out of the ground. It's got to be head height. That can challenge, Samson early on.
We also saw in that innings first signs of frustration from Shubman Gill, although you'll probably grant that the way that particular review played out, it would frustrate most people.
Oh, we had a good conversation about this downstairs, and just the amount of time these reviews are taking up in the game, it's boring me. It really is. It's just taking the energy out of the game, the momentum, the excitement. I feel like it's getting to the point where it needs to go straight upstairs, kind of like the front foot no ball. It needs to be done by the third umpire. Yep, on-field call. If that on-field call's incorrect, then with the technology they've got now, before the next ball's bowled, then that's kind of rectified. Because at the moment, it's taking 2 or 3 minutes out of the game, which is the frustrating part. And then to get to it where it's probably the wrong decision initially, I thought it was probably still a wide, but I can see how they kind of were upset that it was called a wide. But yeah, I guess that was just, when you're talking about Shubman Gill's frustration of it all, I think that was the stage where the game was starting to get away from them, where they'd actually been pretty good and keeping them contained before that. So probably just a combination of the momentum and partly the decision.
Right, let's start looking ahead to the chase then. 197 for Gujarat Titans to avoid a third defeat in a row. They do bat deeper in this game than they have in previous games. Matthew Wade features for the first time. What's the best position for him, and how do you figure that batting lineup?
I think Wade will probably come in the middle order, sort of fill the void of Miller, because they've got the resources that can bat sort of 1 to 4. Do I think they're going to get 197? I don't think they're going to get 197. I think the spin of Ashwin and Chahal is going to be too tricky for him on that surface. We saw Rashid Khan, bowl very well on that surface, understanding where to bowl, what line to bowl, what length to bowl. You can guarantee that the Rajasthan spinners will know exactly what to do. Trent Bolt's always the threat with the new ball. They've got most bases covered.
We await the decision on the impact sub. They could be tempted, seeing how Rashid bowled. Keshav Maharaj is there on that impact bench today, and they have only gone in with 3 overseas players.
I think it's probably a decent option, to be fair. Maharaj is a very good bowler. I'm surprised we haven't seen it already because he can bowl well in the power play. But, the combination of him and Chahal and Ashwin as well in that middle. He doesn't need to bowl 4 overs. If he's going well, he can bowl 4, but he's a really good option in the middle there.
All right. You've already hinted at your prediction.
I've given it to you.
Okay. So
I think RR are winning this.
5 out of 5 for Rajasthan, says Tom Moody. And Mitch?
I think Rajasthan's going to win this as well. I think they'll win by 13 runs.
No, going more specific. All right, then. Let's see if Gujarat can make a fight out of this and avoid that 3rd straight defeat in a row. We'll pick up the conversation at the end of the game. In the meantime, download the ESPN Cricinfo mobile app. It'll have you covered through the rest of this game as we see how Gujarat go through their chase. And see you then at the end of Gujarat versus Rajasthan on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.